All right, I think that I'm live. So, welcome to a Thursday night Facebook Live with CJ Card Creations. My name is Christy Hillock, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Salt Lake City, Utah. I very much appreciate you being here with me, whether you're watching live with me now or if you are catching the replay. So thank you. And all of those likes and shares, they really help. And I would appreciate whatever of those you can give me. And also, if you do share, make sure you type in the comments of this video shared so that I can enter you for a prize next week. Let's see what else I need to tell you. So there's a whole bunch of links in my description of this video. So there's a new one that just went up today with a link to the registration for my April classes to go. So I actually this month am doing two, and one is more for the casual or beginning stamper, and the other is for my avid ladies who, hey mom, thanks for being here, who want a little bit more of a challenge in terms of what bundles and that kind of thing. So there is all the information, like I said, at that link. There is also a link for Paper Pumpkin, and I know I've mentioned this one, but the sign-up period closes Saturday, I think. No, Sunday the 10th. So it's the Changes Beautiful kit, and it's got a lot of really bright, springy colors. So I think that is one that we won't want to miss. And I am going to switch my view so that you can see what we're doing. So since I am using this bundle for my class, for one of my classes for this month, I wanted to show you some of what it can do. So this is the card that we are going to make, but first I want to show you what the classes that I'm offering look like. All right, so the beginner casual stamper class actually uses the Sentimental Swirls stamp set, which I did not pull. Hold on just a second and I'll show it to you. But it is a really, really nice one. It's got some good sentiments and good images that are really useful for a lot of different things. Well, I'm glad you're excited about the Daffodil bundle. So this is the casual stamper class. So you'll make 4 cards, and this one's a fun fold. So looks like that. And then this thank you card and a hello, because we always need those. And then another hello. So some very different looks with this one compared to all of the floral ones. And then the other really exciting part of this class to go is that, that glare, you'll get to make a sampler as well. So everything to make all of these pieces is included in this class to go. And that is a 12 by 12 sampler. All right, so if you are looking for the Avid class, that, like I said, uses this bundle, and with your class fee you get a bolt of this white frayed ribbon that's really fun to work with, and you get the Iridescent Rhinestones basic jewels, and we'll use those tonight as well, and then a half a pack of the New Horizons designer series paper. So this, if you haven't seen it, actually coordinates with the March Paper Pumpkin that I literally just got like 2 days ago, and I haven't had time to do it. I don't know if that's showing you anything. Let's see. But it's beautiful scenes and then kind of just watercolory splashes. So I think that this paper is better and better the more I use it. So I hope that you will be excited about that combination. So that is that. And then I wanted to show you a couple of samples that I did with just the New Horizons designer series paper. So if you can tell here, this succulent bouquet was stamped on a piece of the designer series paper, and then I heat embossed it in copper. So I really liked how that green turned out. Hey, Aunt Pat, thanks for being here. So anyway, just a little bit of sparkle there. And then this one, I just loved this piece of pink designer series paper, so I went ahead and made something with it as well. Hey, Janie. So a couple of different ideas using that paper. And I think that's it on that. Pat, you were the winner for sharing last week. So I'm actually going to send you an old paper pumpkin kit. So I hope that that is good news for you. And I'm glad you like the copper on that. We always go for golds and silvers, and I just really wanted to bring out that copper for that one. Okay, I do have the new annual catalog. I think I mentioned this last week. If you need one, please let me know. I am getting them all ready to go out over the weekend, so they should be headed your way next week if you're getting one. So, I think it's beautiful. My pre-order just came literally at like 5:30, so I might open it here with you guys in just a little while. But first, I wanted to do what you came here for. So we are going to get going on this card. So just going to set my sample over here so that I know what I'm doing, because apparently I just thought that I had cut all the things and I didn't. So bear with me, you guys, because we just need to get a few things as we go, but we'll get there. So Joe is out of town. It makes everything so much more complicated. I had a 3-hour meeting last night that I was also trying to parent during, and so that was a treat. So anyway, if I seem a little frazzled, it's because I am. He'll be back tomorrow. So let me get all my bits that we're using. And oh my goodness, sometimes I cut and am super on top of it, and I just don't know what happened here. But we will be just fine. Just want to make sure I get the right piece of designer series paper from this pile that I've got. This piece has purples and blues in it, and that was what I just really, really loved. So want to make sure that we do that, and then I just need to cut a card liner here, because we'll get all of our stamping with the hinge part done right at the first. So how's everybody's week been? You all are just doing lots of saying hello. I hope that everybody's feeling well and having all the spring fun and allergies. I'm sure lots of you have allergies too, so that's the downside, I suppose. All right, so I'm going to cut this piece of designer series paper now to be 4 inches wide and 5 1/4, so just a standard mat. That, that's kind of what I do with all of the first layer. So this one I have set up on my Stamparatus, and as you can see, I don't have the foam mat on it because this is a red rubber stamp. So it's got its own cushion. It doesn't need the added foam. It actually makes your stamps not stamp properly if you have that foam with a red rubber. So, all right, let's get that there. And we are going to ink this up with some Misty Moonlight, which I know I've been saying how sad I am going to be about this color going, and I am, because it's beautiful and I've used it a ton. But the colors that are coming are amazing, and they are bright and happy, and I hope that you're going to love them. So this is all that we're going to do to the inside piece of the card, and then we are just going to take our little designer series paper layer and get that lined up and straight, and we are going to hinge away once I find the ink. All right, so for the front of this, I'm going to use Memento Black. I just did the Misty Moonlight on the inside because I felt like it coordinated a little better for that part. So we will ink that up really well and give it a good rub there. And there is our first lovely impression. And now I am just moving my plate down one mark here and ink that again and bring it across. And that one did nicely as well. So when you're pulling this plate out, it does have to be completely vertical. So pull out, move down a slot, and then you can fold it over so you can ink. So this is one of those things that sometimes I think about, and this stamp I felt really lended itself to this technique. Just not always something that I remember to try with some of our stamps. So I am happy with it on this one. Oh, but that moved. So just going to make sure we're still lined up. And now I'm moving my magnet to the top since we're done stamping there. Bring this across now that the magnet's out of the way. And I think that's going to be, we just got one more. Thank you for sharing, Janie. Did you recover from last week's infusion okay? I know you said you'd been on the Benadryl, so hopefully you're feeling well now. All right, we've got this last one. Okay, so now I'm just going to get this out of here and set aside my Stamparatus. Oh, but I don't want to lose my magnet, so I'm going to tuck this in its spot on the bottom. There are actually two magnets that come with that. Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. I rarely actually use both of them, and I don't know why that is, except that it just invites them snapping together, and when they snap together, sometimes they break. So I try to avoid that. All right, so I'm bringing my Misty Moonlight ink back in now, and I've got this little, just kind of splotchy stamp, and it just really adds a little bit of texture that your eye doesn't necessarily pay a lot of attention to, specifically, but I think it adds quite a bit. So just turning my stamp each time that I do put it down and moving it around. There's not really any right or wrong way when you're doing this kind of thing. It's just when you feel happy with how it looks. And then I do know, of course, that I'm going to cover up some of this. So in the center, it doesn't really matter so much, although typically I do still fill it in fairly completely just because I want to make sure that I don't have big holes once I've put the next layer on. So I think that is going to do for that. Oh, I still need that ink. I just don't need that stuff. Next, I can set that aside and we'll do our adhering and everything here shortly. But I have already die cut the daffodil that we are going to use just in basic white because I wanted to have kind of a shadow effect. So I'm bringing in my fresh Freesia, and this is the stamp with the single daffodil. So I'm going to ink that up in Misty Moonlight. And just stamp that right there. And there you go. The next thing that I want to do is grab my Wink of Stella, which if you don't have Wink of Stella, this is one of those things that should always be on your desk, ready for you to grab. So I'm just gonna make my flower a little sparkly. And there is not a whole lot of technique to this. You just kind of act like you're painting. The wet look does dry fairly quickly because it is alcohol based. So as you can see, you end up just left with some sparkles. You know, I am so glad that it changed your life. I think that everything looks better with a little wink. So I am going to just trim out this image roughly so that I can feed it through my mini cut and emboss. And we'll get those off to the side. You guys, I cleaned again today in my office, and I just am quite proud of myself. There's actually a reason though. I ordered from Stamp and Storage some a giant ink holder and another 12 by 12 paper holder because I am trying to get the disaster that is in here under some semblance of control. So hopefully those things help me. But I had to get ready for them to get here. So, okay, now I am going to bring in just a little piece of Post-it tape. Now you talk about something else that always needs to be on your desk, and I'm really starting to feel like this is one of those things because it is so frustrating when the die moves after you've gotten it lined up perfectly. So look, you guys, I got it to go through on the first go. I really do think that Jane was right when she said to stagger things because that is how I sent that through. So keep that in mind as you're starting to use yours more. And we'll set that over there. Okay, and then the next thing that I want to do is bring in this piece of basic white, and I'm grabbing that Misty Moonlight blender brush. So you just want to swirl it kind of in a nice circle, and I don't know what that's picking up, a piece of like thread or something. So I've gotten it nice and inked, and then I am just going to get the first bit of ink off the tips of those bristles. And then this is really bigger than what I needed just because I wanted something to hold on to. So I am just going to go kind of around the edges, heavier than in the center. And that is, I think, all that I'm going to want there. And now I can bring in, so my Hippo and Friends dies are going away, you guys. And I love these shapes. This one is the one that we're going to use tonight. But these guys are amazing. And then this, I showed you that pink sample and I had used these. So these are kind of just, yes, I know they have the hippo and the unicorn or whatever. But I really feel like that die set is just a set that you need to have in your collection because the layering dies are so amazing. So last I checked, they were still on the list. So hopefully if you want them, you still have the opportunity to get them. All right, so I'm going to feed this through here and make our little octagon. That's not an octagon, I don't think. Anyway, our lovely little shape. And then I think we're ready to start assembling. So get all the inky things away. And I'm still happy with how that looks now that it's cut out, so that's good. Okay. You know, something else that basically I just absolutely love is my tape runner, and I didn't realize how much I was missing it. So I'm glad to be back in business there. And I'm going to just center this on the front of my card. And go ahead and do the card liner as well. Trying to make sure I don't put it down in an inky spot and mess it all up, because that would be sad. So I think we're still good there. And again, just centered inside, although obviously I did not get that centered vertically, but I think it's fine. And next we're going to build our daffodil bits. So I did actually Google, because you know, you got to Google everything, to find out if purple daffodils are a thing. And it seemed like they are something that, you know, somebody kind of hybridized something else and made it, but I didn't get the impression that purple daffodils are found in nature. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't completely off base, but then I really didn't care too much if I was somewhere in the realm of possibility, you know, as long as I was in the realm of possibility. So get that all stuck on there, and then we will adhere this to our little die cut over there. And you know me and popping things up, I really only like to pop up one layer. So once I get this all adhered, we will add this on dimensionals. So I just want to make sure that's reasonably straight. There we go. And some white dimensionals over here. For one of the cards I was making today, I actually used the black ones, which, you know, it's not something I pull out all the time, because usually your white ones really do work just fine. But it is very handy to have black ones on those darker cards. So just get these all done. And maybe we want one in the middle too, so it doesn't sag. And there is that. And I'll just get that roughly centered. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so then the last thing that we want to do is just jazz it up a little bit with these iridescent rhinestones. They were unavailable for a little while, but they are back and irresistible. I feel like they pick up some of the color of what you use them on, more so than just a regular rhinestone will do. So in that sense, I really do like using them. These come in 3 different sizes. So that's another nice aspect of this particular set of embellishments. And let's see. I feel like I'm having placement problems lately. I start putting them on somewhere and then realize, I really don't like how that looks. So, yep, see, just like that. That's too high, I think. There we go. Okay. So we've got 3 down here in the corner, and then I'm just going to add a couple more up here. And I think that is going to do it. Have I been crooked this whole time? Oh, how embarrassing. All right, well, I hope that you love this project, and if you give it a go, make sure you share it over in my group, the CJ Stampers group, and it's linked above or below. I think it's above. Um, so I would love to see what you come up with, and I would also love to put together one of my class to go kits for you if you're interested in that. So that is the end of our regularly scheduled programming. However, because I do have this lovely box of fun new things, if you would like to stick around for a minute, I'll show you some of them. Let me just load it up here. Oh my gosh. I think the UPS man thought I was crazy with this and the ink thing coming in today. Okay, so the unboxing, and honestly, it was like 5:30 in the morning when I ordered this stuff, so I don't even remember what's in here. But these are the new in color pads, and I've seen a lot of people comparing, especially these blues. No, wait, not the Tahitian Tide, but the Orchid Oasis and the Starry Sky. So comparing those blues to other blues that we have currently or have had in the past, and also to purples. And they are just, it's fascinating when you do the comparison. So I think they're really kind of in between blue and purple. They're beautiful. I think these two in particular work together really nicely, so that's fun too. And then we have our Sweet Sorbet, and it is hard to tell in just this little swatch, but it is kind of a pinky red maybe. So then we've got our Tahitian Tide, which one of our friends, Julie, has been in Bora Bora, and so I've seen some beautiful pictures, and I'm super jealous, and that color just makes me think that I need to go there even more. So, all right, now these are the new in color ribbons, and they are so pretty. It's hard to tell because of the glare, and I don't know if I can get this opened fast enough, but they're metallic-y, and it says they are, let's see, 1/8 of an inch wide. So we haven't had ribbon this narrow in a long time that I can remember. Oh my gosh, seriously struggling. So there we go. Now you can see how narrow it is, and also from what I understand, it ties really nicely too. So let's just give that a little go, see what we think. So it's almost like, you know, that silver mesh ribbon that we have that's really wide? It kind of feels like that same texture, but I mean, that bow is beautiful and it's flat, and it will be great for anything that you want to use it for. So those are fun. And my bottle punch, vintage bottle punch that goes with that stamp set that I showed you last week, the Bottled Happiness. Cannot get that to show well. There we go. But it's nice and tall, so I think that's going to be fun. And some glimmer paper, and this is the in color stack of designer series paper. And you know, our papers are beautiful in the catalog, but they never show as well in the catalog as in person. But these patterns are so nice, so that's exciting. And the Tea Boutique set, so this one, there's a whole collection of products. So it's this cup of tea, and they're so cute. You can make them an actual cup of tea, or you can make them planters, and some really nice little sentiments there. And then there's this designer series paper that is all in colors, and it's so teacups on one side and then just nice patterns on the back sides. And then there is is this set of cards and envelopes that coordinates. And so your envelopes are gorgeous, your card bases are ready to go, and then you just decorate to your heart's content. So I think that that is going to be awesome. And Framed Occasions goes with the Beautiful Shapes dies that are in the current mini catalog. So you see your hexagon there, and then the circle, and then the rest of it is just really nice little foliage kind of stuff that you can add in lots of places. And then To a Happy Future Ahead, that is a more useful sentiment than some of the ones that I have had lately for, like weddings or just general congratulations. So that is photopolymer. That will be nice. And then some Stylish Shapes dies. Oh my goodness. Their adhesives are getting adhesivier. Okay, so these are stitched on the outside and the inside when it cuts, so that you can do some really nice things with the negative spaces as well. And then you've got these layering banners, which is awesome. And I'm really glad we have squares again, because I've missed those over the last couple of years, since they took away our stitched shapes a while ago. And then these are the teacup dies, and we are almost to the end, I believe. Yes. So that's just the in color paper cardstock. And you know how I told you that I had cleaned up? Well, now I have dumped things all over everywhere again. So I guess I'll stay and clean up some more. But this set of paper is called Sun Prints, and it looks so fun. I love that it's all just these beautiful colors, the blues. It's amazing. So excited about that one. And Pretty Prints. The names are all kind of similar, so I don't know how we're supposed to keep them straight. But anyway, I'll give it a go. Try to get them learned so that I'm not totally confusing every time I'm talking about stuff. Oh my gosh. There we go. These, ooh. So this actually really looks very similar to the Sun Prints in terms of style, but oh, that color is amazing. They're so pretty. So that'll be a good one. And then this brushstroke specialty stuff is, it's different. It's not like your traditional designer series paper. It's really thin, and I guess it's one-sided. I don't really see why you would want to use that side. So it's kind of silky. I don't know, it's fun. So that'll be neat to play with. And it's brush strokes, but you really get a sense of the texture with it in person. So that is lovely. And then they gave us a new black and white set called Perfectly Penciled. So let's just get into this last one, and then I will let you guys, oh my gosh, I just cut a piece of that. Jeez. That's why I should pay more attention and not talk. But here we go. Wow. So pretty. Oh my goodness. That's going to be fun. All right. Well, we will switch over here. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing the new things and also the sneak peek of my. You're so sweet, Janie. You would get really tired because of all of the boxes that come to my house. You would not want to see all of them, but I appreciate that. So yes, I hope that you're excited about the daffodils. They are actually carrying over to the new annual catalog too, so that's good news. And I think that that is just about everything. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I would love to help you. If you need to purchase anything, I would be delighted to help you with that as well. And don't forget to like and share. Okay, thanks so much, you guys. Have a good evening. Bye.